Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a home day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Batters Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, and Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. Right, it's a hump day. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. A little more portal news came down on Tuesday, so might have heard by now Jack Bech has entered the transfer portal, and so did Demarius McGee. We could take them one at a time. Let's start with Jack. I think the decision sounds like it was likely made last week that Jack was going to enter the portal. And, you know, we're going to start to get these announcements here every day, where I think LSU likes to give, or sort of, I'm going to say strategically, but it gives each guy kind of his day. And that's pretty common when you're making these announcements. Like Monday, it's Keyshawn's. So nobody else announced on Monday. They kind of dropped the big news of Keyshawn returning. So Tuesday was Jack, and I'm sure we'll get other info moving forward, right? Like we're gonna learn about, what the plan is for B.J. Ojolari and guys like Jay Ward, Jaquelin Roy, a lot of other guys. But Jack, I know that's going to be disappointing for a lot of fans because Jack was a fan favorite and, Lafayette guy, all the Bech, I'm from Louisiana stuff. I think Jack had done a really good job with NIL, so he really put himself out there. And I've told him this too, because I interviewed him when he was in high school. Because remember, he was a Vanderbilt commit. Committed to Vanderbilt and got the LSU offer and flipped from Vanderbilt to LSU. And when I interviewed him in high school, I'm not going to say he was introverted. He just wasn't very good. Just a young guy, just a high school kid. But he got very comfortable in that setting. Really putting himself out there, and he maximized NIL opportunities. So good for him, really. On the field, he, of course, was injured for much of fall camp, and you had a new staff come in that didn't have any allegiances to any players. So Jack was hurt, wasn't out there, and you saw guys like Malik Neighbors, Jeray Jenkins really emerge as the go-to guys, along obviously with Keyshawn, and Jack just kind of fell down the depth chart. And you can look at what's coming in next year with Keyshawn coming back, and then you look at what's coming in next year. Of course, Shelton Sampson's coming in, 5-star, number one receiver type. You got the other highly regarded receiver, Jaylen Brown, out of Miami, who's coming in. You'll have Chris Hilton coming back off an injury. So you got Kyle Parker committed, who's a wide receiver out of Texas. So I get it. It's just a time where he'll be able to jump, be highly sought after, and pick a spot where he's going to be able to go and be somebody's number one. So we'll see what that means for Jack Bech moving forward. And then Demarius McGee also entered the transfer portal. Demarius McGee was he and Raydarius Jones were the only two cornerbacks that returned for this season. They were the only two that were on the team in 2021 that returned. And he played in 12 games as a freshman in 2021. Remember, started the bowl game when LSU had no players. He started the bowl game. And then Demarius McGee and Raydarius Jones both returned, and neither played. McGee played in one game this year. I think he had 2 snaps. I think he played two total snaps in the season. So, as a redshirt sophomore, he'll have 3 years of eligibility remaining wherever he goes. Of course, does not have the COVID year because his first season was 2021. But he was a 4-star prospect. He was one of the top corners in the country. But came in this year, and you're going to lose a lot of those super seniors to transfers. So you got right now Radarius Jones, Terrence Wells, Jordan Allen, and then the commitments in this class: Jalen Davis Robinson, Jeremiah Hughes, Dalen Austin, Ashton Stamps from Rummel, and they're pursuing some of the highest rated corners in the country, and you better believe they're going to have to hit the portal as well. So those are the latest two there with Jack Bech and Demarius McGee. All right, let's say some good mornings. Y'all know the drill. Anything you got, fire away. Questions, comments, concerns, all that good stuff. Larry Garner, Spurge, what's up? Brian Greer, Randall Offrecht. When and if the Saints hopefully fire Dennis Allen, who do you think would be a good fit to rebuild the roster? We'll all start to compile lists, but Eric Bieniemy was my guy a year ago. You don't have to go too far down the list to find hot names among offensive coaches. Some have mentioned Ken Dorsey. Some have mentioned Byron Leftwich. I think that's the direction I would go, though. I would go young offensive mind. Todd Harris, Thomas Bergeron, Darren Straub, Dane Bergeron. Good morning. Dale Broussard, congrats to TCU for being the first team in the college football playoff from Texas. Jordan Smith, Darren Straub receiver room is stacked, not going to be an issue. I agree with you. I think that's why Jack is leaving. Chuck Sanchez, what's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck? Dale Broussard, the TCU plane is in Lafayette today. Okay. Great players in Lafayette. They should be recruiting there. Everybody should be recruiting there. Brand Roban, good morning. Game 1, we probably expected some mistakes, which we saw. Do you think it boils down to not coaching well or undisciplined focus? You talking about Florida State? I don't know, Brand. That's a really deep dive question. I could talk about the fact that Garrett Dellinger was playing center. You had a true freshman making his first start at left tackle, first time quarterback playing with this team, with these coaches, against a very veteran quarterback in Jordan Travis, who played a really good game that day. LSU couldn't get off the field on third down. We had not yet seen Harold Perkins emerge, so just a different team. Brian Wynn, Kelly Gross, Joseph Dean Strickland, good morning. Tyler Alexander, good morning. Do you think they go after big-bodied linebacker in the portal? So linebacker's an interesting one, Tyler, because keep in mind, Greg Penn returns, and, Perkins also is going to be back. And you're losing Baskerville, you're losing Mike Jones, but you hit the portal last year for sort of those young veterans. You brought in West Weeks, you brought in Colby Fields, guys that played a little bit this year. And then you also saw the emergence of DeMario Tolan late in the season. So you actually, numbers-wise, are pretty good at linebacker. The caveat I'll throw out is, if there's a player that just immediately makes you better, of course you go sign that player, right? I think that's true at any position. You throw your hat in the ring for anybody that's in the portal that makes you immediately better at a position. I can't sit there and tell you. I know a lot of people pointed out the kid from Oregon that would be a target, and I'd agree with you that if there's a player, Justin Flo is his name. Justin Flo is a former 5-star linebacker from Oregon, and if that guy is available, of course you go get him. You know what I mean? Of course you had a player like that. It's like Arkansas added Drew Sanders from Alabama, former 5-star. And Drew Sanders was second in the SEC in tackles, like second in TFL, second in sacks this year. Had an awesome year at Arkansas. Like, you can add that guy? Of course you do. Matt Lusto, morning. Sucks to see Jack Bech go as a legacy, but I suppose writing was on the wall. Obviously, touches dropped off this year. Wish him the best. Yeah, it's true. Trivia card or Trav 504, Lewis Mathern. Morning, Matt. No way Loomis can bring back Allen in 23, right? Right, Matt? Lewis, I mean, listen, I'll tell you this. I was having a conversation last week with some Saints beat reporters who are there every day, and their feeling was it's pretty much consensus that he'd be back. And, you know, my feeling on that is, and this is what I say, I even have a wager that I won't make public, but a wager with someone on the Saints beat that he will be gone. And this person insists that he'll be back. And so I think the more you lose, the less likely it is that you can bring him back. So at 4-9 right now, you know, with 4 games to go, I think they can beat Atlanta coming off the bye, and I think they can beat Carolina, but they're very likely going to lose at Cleveland and at the Eagles. So if you go 6-11, or if you lose one to the Falcons or Panthers and you go 5-12, you know, and it looks really bad over this final month, then I don't know how you justify bringing him back. I think that the pressure will continue to mount on him. Tom Brandon, good morning. Juan, good morning. How does NIL factor into the process of re-recruiting players to come back for senior season? Yeah, it's going to matter for some, Juan. And, you know, the LSU collective, I think, is they're in the process of restructuring it, possibly even sort of coming up with a second collective. But, you know, we've talked about it a good bit here, y'all. LSU's collective just isn't funded the way some others are. And I can tell you there are some very prominent LSU benefactors who have let it be known that they sort of contributed to help get it off the ground, but they're not doing it every year. And I think that's going to be interesting, not just at LSU, but kind of everywhere to see how the transfer portal and, you know, the collective, the funds into a collective, how and if that's maintained every year, right? Will wealthy benefactors decide, yeah, I'm just not doing this anymore? Maybe. We'll see. It's all a learning process with it. Brian Penton, good morning from Chicago. Edward O got the crabs. Good morning. What's good? I destroyed the like button. Thank you very much so. Brian, I loved your open yesterday on AFR. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got a little emotional. But I think it's what people like the show, man. I don't hold back. Y'all know that. I'm trying to get this button on my shirt on the sleeve, and it's not cooperating. Zach Swan, good morning. Gray Abraham, good morning. Any ideas who we could be targeting in the portal, if anyone? Maybe the Bama guard that entered his name. I'll tell you this, I do know that they're going to be looking for depth on the offensive line. Because I'll put it this way, you're going to see LSU offensive linemen hit the portal. Just book that. You're going to see some of those backups hit the portal. So LSU is going to need to add some experience depth in the portal. Cornerbacks are going to be an obvious need. And I've told you this, I've been telling you this, they're going to add an edge player. They're going to add an edge player in the portal. And probably a tight end as well. They've already offered a tight end out of the portal. Guy Brooks, good morning. Samuel Smith, Matt, you're coming to Hammond in January for an event at St. Thomas Aquinas baseball team. That's my alma mater. Yep, had a buddy who invited me to come to that and speak, which I'm happy to do. they have to kind of bump the start time back a little bit because I don't get off air until 6, obviously, in downtown Baton Rouge, and I got to get to Hammond. So, but yes, I'm very much looking forward to it. As always, I'll shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you need orthopedics, go to Brock. They're the best. Primary location there inside the Surgical Specialty Center on Bluebonnet near Perkins. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco link is pinned there. If you need a roof, we'll give you a free no obligation roofing inspection. Just click that link, fill out the form, and Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. If you got pain, book a session with Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. Okay, Barry LeBove. Morning, Scone. Wishing Jack Bech the best of luck. Hope he lands somewhere that's a good fit for him. He will. He'll have no shortage of suitors. Brian Wynn, what needs do we fill or shore up with transfers coming in from the portal? Any players coming in from SC schools? I already talked about that a little bit. Lee Tregree, with Bech hitting the portal, what do you think Howard will do? Walker's Howard is not going anywhere. Bubba Smith, good morning from Froggy, Houston. Craig Dugas, Matt, how is there still no decision on basketball shenanigans with the NCAA? I told you this, Craig. The NCAA can do whatever they want at whatever pace they want. Last year, the NOA dropped, the week before the tournament? So they can kind of do whatever they want. Craig Dugas, my guess is Wade will get the blunt of the punishment. Yeah, I mean, Will Wade's going to get a show cause for sure. The thing we hope is that LSU avoids major sanctions like a postseason ban. I don't know that that's possible. I mean, considering what Cincinnati got, I mean, I think at least a one-year postseason ban and scholarship restrictions is likely. Jacob Picard, haven't seen you talk about Daniels and Lake of or being scared of throwing deep. I could have missed you talking about it, but haven't seen it. What's your thoughts on this? I mean, Jacob, that's been a talking point all year because people keep asking about it. I think that has become a fan narrative. I think you're probably reading Twitter and message boards. I think there were times this year, obviously, where you would have liked to have seen Jaden be more aggressive, no doubt. But I think also in this offense in particular, in this team in particular, protecting the football was important, and he did that. But a lot of that thing is growth and development and progress. I'm sorry, my right eye is just giving me a lot of problems this morning. I feel like I got a bruise. Whenever it's very sensitive when I touch it. I don't know what's going on there. And yes, Jacob, we've talked about that literally all season. Stephen Dufour, what's going on? Everyone talking about the Saints coaching situation. What blame does Mickey Loomis share in this? A lot. I mean, he's the one who made the decision to hire Dennis Allen. So, yes, he deserves a lot of blame. He's the one that's made the decisions to trade draft picks and play for the now. And again, I'm okay with the decision they made, but it also hasn't worked. So, you live with the results of your actions and decisions as a leader. And it's not worked, so yes, he deserves blame. Let's see, Brant, do you see weaknesses for Brian Kelly? If so, what would you like to see improve for next season? I don't know. I mean, when you've been a head coach for 32 years, I mean, I don't want to say you are what you are and you can't evolve. Of course you can. But I think he did a pretty awesome job this year considering what he inherited. Napoleon's the most obvious. Hired a guy, trusted a guy who's been with him for a long time, did a terrible job, and will he make that change? If he doesn't, maybe we'll be able to look at it and say loyalty to assistants that fail. But let's see. Hey, Dad, good morning. Megan Hirsch, Charlie Cavell, good morning. I'll take a quick second and smash that like button on YouTube. 101 watch, appreciate that. Smash that like button. If you're new, please subscribe up to the YouTube channel. Jason H., Eric Wilder, morning, Scone. Really enjoyed listening to you cycle through all the stages of grief in one single AFR. I was definitely in the anger stage to start the show. Joseph Feltwell, would you trade Olave to build for the future? Or will he be a piece in your rebuild? No, I mean, he's got to be a piece in your rebuild because he's on a rookie contract. I mean, that's what you need, is you need players on inexpensive rookie deals. You need good players on rookie deals. Unfortunately, you don't really have assets to trade, Joseph. So, I mean, you just have to hit on the draft picks you have and wait for some of these bad contracts to expire so you can start spending again. Jesse Post, good morning. Eric, your point about Ingram made me think it's even possible for Olave to make a positive ROI. Think if it's even possible for Olave to make a positive ROI. He's a stud. I'd take the assets back if I could. Point I made about Ingram is, when the Saints drafted him, they took him in round 1, but remember they traded back into round 1 to get him. They had taken Cam Jordan, and so they traded the next year's 1 and a 2, which was the 56th overall pick. So they gave up 2 picks to draft Mark Ingram. And in his rookie contract, he only one time did he play a full 16 games. The Saints did not pick up his 5th-year option on his rookie deal. They signed him to a less expensive second contract where he didn't have a 1,000-yard season until his 7th year in the NFL, and really only had real success when he was paired with Alvin Kamara. And then they promptly sent him to Baltimore, or they let him walk. He went to Baltimore, and after one season, they basically phased him out halfway through the next year. He goes to the Texans, plays half a season there, and the Saints trade for him because they needed running back depth. And Saints gave up a 7th rounder to bring him back. And he's just a very average back. He's had fumbling problems his whole career. He's never been a true feature back. If I asked you this, who's been a better NFL running back, Alvin Kamara or Mark Ingram? The answer is very easy, and you know what it is. Well, Alvin Kamara was a 3rd-round pick. Ingram, you gave up 2 picks to take him in round 1. So he has never lived up to the investment you made on him. You haven't gotten a return, a positive return on that investment. So that's my point about Mark Ingram. And he's always just made losing plays. I mean, earlier this year against Tampa, you're driving the football in a tie game with a chance to go take the lead and really take control, and your veteran running back fumbles inside the 10-yard line. I mean, against Tampa on Monday, he runs out of bounds a half-yard short of the first down. That's been Mark Ingram's MO his whole career. He's just he doesn't make winning plays. That's just his MO. Normal guy, what up? Trivia, Colorado got over 200 players from transfer and recruiting requests to play at Colorado. I believe that. People want to go play for Prime. Troy Abear, if you were the GM, would you make a run at Harbaugh? Sure. I mean, shoot, he got the Niners to Super Bowl. Yeah, I saw the Yankees just signed Aaron Judge, 9 years, $360 million. When are these teams going to learn? These decade-long contracts, it never pans out. Normal guy, what's good? I mean, it's not my money, so I don't care. Glad to see Aaron Judge in the pinstripes, but you'd be paying a 40-year-old guy $40 million a year, whatever. Troy Abear, why are you unwilling to say the names of certain targets in the portal? For example, the center you were talking about. Mostly waiting for it to happen. The sender is it's the kid from Cincinnati. Jake Renfro. So, of course, I mean, Mike Denbrock came from Cincinnati, where he had Jake Renfro, who was the starting center there. He started all 13 games during their playoff season in 2021, and then missed this year with an injury. So he's from Illinois. He's played a lot of football. Really good player. They're targeting Jake Renfro. I thought your reaction on AFR to Keyshawn Booty staying was epic. Thank you. We played neck, and I almost sang it, but I didn't. All right, 7:57. Oh gosh, I only got a few minutes left. All right, let me go a little quickly here. Megan Hurst, good morning. Charlie Cavell, Jerry DeLucky, good morning. Louis Malhoyd, good morning. Michael Thacker, does the NCAA not require student athletes to sit out a year of transferring for a second or third time? They do, unless if you're a graduate. So you get the one-time transfer rule where you can transfer without penalty, and then you would have to sit out unless if you're a graduate. If you're a graduate, then you can transfer whenever you want to play. Like JT Daniels, for example. I mean, this will be the third consecutive year that he transfers. Like he went Georgia to West Virginia. So when USC to Georgia, was able to play immediately. Then as a graduate, went from USC to West Virginia. Well, now he's got the COVID year, so he can play one more. So he's going from West Virginia to wherever. But he's a graduate, so he can go play. If LSU lost the Natty in 19, would that have been more disappointing than 2011? Probably. Sergeant King, Wolfpack, Samuel Smith, Keith H., Gray Abraham, Stu 3, Cliff Nelson, good morning, Nicholas Cantrell, Brian Penton. Will you watch Tulane against USC? Of course I will. I'll watch all football. Do you think they have a chance? They're favored. I'm sure USC is going to have a bunch of opt-outs. I think Tulane's like a 1-point favorite. Kyle Milliken, what should the Saints do with Rashid Shaheed? Keep him. I mean, of course, he's a young dude on an undrafted rookie free agent contract. Ingram saw Devin White, didn't want that smoke. No, Ingram was injured. Devin White was giving him the sticks, too. Like, literally just hold the ball out. Just hold the ball at the sticks. Get the first down. Warren Matt, Garrett makes things tough because we want Jaden to throw like Garrett, but we don't want careless throws. Right, so so you want that perfect balance. But that's the thing, like, when you're Nussmeier, you can go in the game down 25 points and let it rip pretty much consequence-free. I mean, the interception he threw was a bad one. This is the thing that you lose sight of because you still lost the game. But what if you were in a one-possession game and you threw that ball in a double coverage and got picked? I mean, that's the thing that you won't pay attention to from Saturday. That is the reason, not the sole reason, but one of the reasons that's hindered his growth. Damon Perkins, what's going on? Jay Geiger, Eugene Sutherland, good morning from Philly. Okay, cheesesteak breakfast, all right. Dalton Barnett, Chris Hilton coming back. Bech wasn't going to see the field. I don't think it was because of Chris Hilton. They don't play the same position, but I mean, Chris Hilton is your outside burner deep threat. That's not the spot Bech was playing. Tier 1 solution. I mean, really the thing is they moved Keyshawn inside of the slot this year. And, took a lot of those reps from Jack. And they did that to get both Keyshawn and Malik on the field. Malik played more outside, as did Jure. D. Grant Gillette. The neighbor's touchdown was a fingertip away from an interception. But it was also a beautiful throw. I mean, dropped it in the bucket. Damon Perkins, Pete Carmichael play calling has been awful this season. Yes, it has. Really makes you miss Sean Payton. All right. Gotta go. Y'all have an awesome day, 801. All right, y'all have an awesome day. YouTube, please take a quick second, smash that like button if you haven't done so yet. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. As always, brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. They're online at brortho.com. You need an orthopedist. They've got all the subspecialties. They're fantastic. It's Brock. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Hudco link is pinned in the chat. If you need a roof repair, roof replacement, commercial or residential, we would love to help you out. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com, and Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. If you have pain, book a session with Crystal Poche. Okay, we are done. Y'all have an awesome day, and LSU Daily is already live on your favorite podcast app and AFR3. Peace.